Arabic. Oops. Oh, do you mind if I ask a question? Where do you get maps to places that nobody even knew existed? Huh? Oops. Oops. Oh, how did that slip through the history book? And the navigator for him actually was named Muhammad. Then the story says that he got all of his crew members from the prison, that she gave him these prisoners and let them go, and he took these prisoners. Now, I don't know if you've been keeping up with about the pirates and stuff that's going on right now in Somalia and places like that. Have you been keeping up with it? Huh? Now, if you have prisoners, I'm sorry, but today, if you have prisoners today, 3 shiploads of gangsters and criminals, do you really want to go with them out to sea? I'm sorry, but do you really want to? I don't. And especially you're going to go off the end of the earth. I'm sorry, but how far do you think you would go? And before they'd say, by the way, hey, Chris, we're not really going to go with you over the earth. We're just going to drop you off here. You can float out there. Who cares? And then they go back to being criminals and pirates, if that were true. The fact is, they were Muslims because many Muslims were incarcerated at that time. Eventually, they would begin torturing them and forcing them to say God is 3, and if they didn't, they would kill them. They ripped them apart. They did horrible things to them. Some of the things they did to those people are still a disgrace to the Christians today. You can look it up in your encyclopedia or go to Encarta online and find out for yourself. It's called Inquisition. It means to inquire, to ask. What was the question? Who is God? And if you didn't say Father, Son, Holy Ghost, you were in for some real entertainment. The people that went with him knew that there was a place to go to. They were happy to go. No problem. And when they arrived, by the way, he kept a diary. Who knows where the habit of keeping a diary while you're at sea came from? Anybody know? Ibn Battuta. Over 200 years before Christopher Columbus, only he went the other way. He went all the way to India from Morocco. So he kept a diary, Chris did. And he tells us he made several trips over there, by the way, with these same people. If they were gangsters, they would have just dumped him when they got to the new land and said, you go back on your own. But when he came, he immediately started noticing things. One of the things he noticed was that one of the ships over there looked just like the Spanish ships back home. Even the women on it were covering their faces just like the people back home. Did you get that one? That's a clear proof that women used to cover their faces even in Spain during that time. Whoa. No wonder they didn't publish it, huh? This is his diary. What else? They found the mast of a ship in the center of one of the houses in the land where they landed. Oh, I'm sorry. By the way, if you found a house, that means there must be people there. Because they did find people there. And if there's already people there, and you already have a map to the place, how did you discover it? I'm sorry, but how did you? Okay, I got off the airplane. I landed in Kuala Lumpur. I discovered this. It's pretty good. Okay, I'll take over. How does that work? Go study the real story, and you can find it out. I know some of the Indian tribes in Mexico and in Texas who have ancestors from before the Spaniards came. Go get the real story. That's what I recommend to you. Because it is consistent on every one of the tribes. They don't have 2 different versions of the story. It's always the same. The people came, we were open to them, hospitable to them, took care of them. They were dying, they had plague, they had all kind of garbage wrong with it. Europeans came over, and we tried our best. And after they get stable and good shape, then they killed us. Oh, and by the way, what I just said wasn't just from the Indians. That's in Williamsburg, Virginia. It's on a big plaque up there that shows how we conquered America. What I'm telling you now is not just about science anymore. I'm telling you about his story. All they did was take an S out of it, okay? That's what history is. History is his story with an S missing. That's all it is. How come we never get to hear her story? That's what I want to know.